This video will cover the Geometry Regents exam from June 2015, questions 21 through 28. 21 says the sum of the interior angles of a regular polygon is 720. How many sides does the polygon have? So here the sum is 720, which means that we have to think about our formula where we have sum of the interior angles is equal to 180 times n minus 2. So if the sum is 720, then we can just plug that in. 180 times n minus 2. Now you have two options for solving. You can either distribute or you could just simply divide by 180, which is the easier option. Divide by 180 and it's gone from this side. Divide by 180 and we get a number, which happens to be 4. So now we have 4 equals n minus 2. All you need to do now is add 2. So now n equals 6. The number of sides is 6, choice 2. Number 22 says, in prisms shown below, AD is perpendicular to AE and AD is perpendicular to AB. Which plane is perpendicular to AD? So here's AD. I'm going to keep this highlighted in red. We're looking for one that's perpendicular to it, meaning that it has to use the fact that we have perpendicular segments, which again means that we need to have segments containing either AE or AB. We need to have planes containing those two. So choice 1 says HEA. HEA. Now if I were to connect this, the corner, the vertex A, is not the whole angle that's formed by the perpendicular lines. So I'm not going to choose that as my choice. I'm going to re-highlight this here. Number 2 says BAD. If I were to highlight BAD, connect them to make a plane here, vertex A is the entire right angle. So this plane is actually lying with the segment itself. So this is not perpendicular to it. If I erase and re-highlight, I can't erase. Okay, let me try this way. So we have segment AD. I'm going to now try plane EAB. EAB. Now that plane EAB is lying flat. And then we have AD going straight up and down. And it's perpendicular on both parts here. So if we want perpendicular, then they should be going in opposite directions, which means that 3 should be our choice. '23 says, in triangle ABC, the measure of angle A is 65 and B is greater than A. The lengths of the sides in order from smallest to largest are... So I'm going to sketch this picture where we have A, B, C. A is 65 and B is something greater than A. So let's say 80. You can choose whatever number you want as long as it's smaller than 115. So I chose 80. And then that would mean that 80 plus 65 plus x. That's 145 plus x would have to add to 180. So x equals 35. C is 35. So we have this formula, this theorem that tells us that the smallest angle is opposite the smallest side, the largest angle is opposite the largest side. So here's my smallest angle, which means that AB is my smallest side, S for small. Then the medium size is here, angle A, so opposite of that is my medium-sized side. And then my largest side is AC because it's opposite the largest angle. And let me just write that out. Smallest side is opposite smallest angle. And the same goes for the largest side. You can write that out if you choose to. Largest side is opposite the largest angle. So now going in order from smallest to largest, we should have AB first, so that eliminates choice 3 and 2. BC should be second, and AC should be third. Choice 1. You can test this with other numbers, keeping the 65 here, of course, but you could test this giving other numbers here. But remember that B has to be greater than angle A. So if you go smaller than 65 or equal to 65, you're not going to be able to come up with the correct answer. Number 24 says, which equation represents a circle whose center is the origin? Now the origin means that point 0, 0, the center of our graph paper essentially, and passes through point -4, 0. So what we have here is this picture with the center of a circle here, and we have the point 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 0, in which the circle goes around it. So here we have centered at the origin, and then if I count, my radius is actually 4. So if my radius is 4 and my center is 0, 0, then we can plug into that equation we've seen in other videos. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals radius squared. So we have x minus 0, where h and k are the center, squared, plus y minus 0 quantity squared equals radius squared, 4 squared. X minus 0, the 0 just kind of goes away, so we have x squared plus y squared equals 16, which gives us choice 2. So for the solutions for this page, we have number 21 is 2, 23 is 3, 21 is 2, 22 is 3, 23 is 1, and 24 is 2. Number 25 says the lengths of two sides of a triangle are 7 and 11. Which inequality represents all possible values for x, the length of the third side of the triangle? So if we have two sides that are 7 and 11, there's this formula, this theorem that says that side 1 plus side 2 must sum to be greater than side 3, where these two sides are the shortest sides. But this also works for any of the given sides. Any of the two sides must be greater than the third side when summed. So if we have two sides, then we can sum them and also find the difference of them, subtract them, in order to find the range. So we have x minus 7 and x plus 7 to give us 4 and 18. Now obviously you can see that 4 and 18 are the only two numbers in the range. But when we set up our range, we have to use strictly less than. X must be strictly less than 18, and then 4 must be strictly less than x. And this is because if we chose a side length of, say 4, say we said equal to 4, then we would have 4, 7, and 11. So we find the two shortest sides, we add them up to get 11. But 11 is supposed to be greater than 11. The two shortest sides is supposed to be greater than the third side. This is not true, which means that we cannot be equal to 4. Same thing goes with 18. We would have 7, 11, and 18. Two shortest sides, sum, give you 18. 18 is not greater than 18. So again, strictly less than symbols. Choice 4. Number 26 says which statement is the inverse of if x plus 3 equals 7, then x equals 4. Now inverse simply means to put the word not in there. But because we're dealing with an algebraic expression, meaning algebra, we actually would change any equal signs to not equal. Kind of like sticking the word not in there when I say equal, not equal, well, we just cross through them. So if x plus 3 is not equal to 7, then x is not equal to 4. So that would be choice 3. Number 27 says, in the diagram below of triangle MAR, medians MN, AT, and RH intersect at O. If TO is 10, what is the length of TA? So I'm going to choose to call this X, box it in, call it X. So when we see three lines intersecting, they make this point called the centroid. And it's not just any three lines, it's the medians, because they're connecting midpoints. Medians intersect to make the centroid. The centroid actually gives us this nice, beautiful proportion. And we call it whole, big, small. And these each go over a number, 3, 2, 1, with an equal sign in the middle of each of them. We are given whole, big, and small because of the way that the centroid splits up a segment. It splits it up into a whole piece, a big piece, and a small piece. So what we do is we circle what we need. We need whole, and we need small. Where the whole goes over 3, small goes over 2. I don't care about big. I'm not looking for AO. And the big and the small are all relative to the size. Big means bigger, small means the smaller. So here we have the whole is represented by x over 3 equals the small, which we know is 10 over 1. In order to solve proportions, you simply cross multiply, so we have x equals 30, which means that TA is equal to 30. Number 28 says, what is an equation of a line that passes through the point 4, 5, and is parallel to the line whose equation is 2/3 x minus 4? So when we want to be parallel, that means same slope. If I look at my equation, my slope is 2 over 3, so my slope is going to stay 2 over 3. And then we have the point 4, 5, which will be my x1, y1. So before I even look at my answer choices, I'm actually going to write my equation right now, plugging into that point slope formula that we've talked about before. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we have y minus 5 equals 2/3 times x minus 4. So now I'm going to get this in y equals by first distributing the 2/3. So we have y minus 5 equals 2/3 x minus 8/3. I know it looks messy, but it's okay. We can handle it, and especially our calculators. They're great at handling fractions. So again, get it in y equals, add 5 to both sides. So we have y equals 2/3 x minus whatever 8/3 plus 5 is. And now I'm going to think about this by changing the 5 into something over 3. If I want to change the 5 into something over 3, this is really 5 over 1 turning into something over 3. So it looks like I need to multiply top and bottom by 3. So plus 15 over 3. Because if you think about it, 15 divided by 3 is just 5. Now, I'm only going through this math in case you don't have a calculator on your hand. If you do have a calculator, simply type in 8 divided by 3 plus 5. Negative 8 divided by 3 plus 5. If you don't have a calculator, keep following with me. We have y equals 2/3 x plus 7/3. So now what we need to do is find out which choice, 1, 2, 3, or 4, is the same as this equation over here. So unfortunately, we do have to do actually quite a bit of work to get the equations and y equals to see which one's the same. So for number 1, I'm going to write it here. We have 2y plus 3x equals 11. So I'm going to move the 3x away by subtracting. So now we have 2y equals negative 3x plus 11. Divide by 2, and we get y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 11 over 2. We can clearly see that this is not the same as what we found, so choice 1 is out. Choice 2, 2y plus 3x equals 22. Subtract 3x again, so we get 2y equals negative 3x plus 22. Divide by 2, y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 11. Gone. Not the same. I'm going to maybe try choice 4, just because I see a 7, and I know in my answer I need a 7/3. So I'm going to try choice 4. You could, of course, always try choice 3 if you don't think that I'm on the right path here. So we have 3y minus 2x equals 7. Add the 2x, so we get 3y equals 2x plus 7. Divide by 3, so you get y equals 2 over 3. 2 over 3. X plus 7 over 3. Look at that. We've got the same answer, choice 4. So for solutions on this page, we have number 25 is choice 4, 26 is choice 3, 27 is choice 1, and 28 is choice 4.